Good evening, everyone. I have Vern Dent, John Curtis, Roy Dale, and Joe. They are here. They're going to discuss a product of a potential development in our community um, on behalf of Vern. If you guys want to share your screens and begin, that'll be awesome. Thank you.
The
Uh,
host needs to allow me to
Yeah,
share.
who's gonna be sharing?
John Curtis.
We shared, right?
He's sharing it.
Hey, you should be good to go.
All right. All right, can you see it?
No.
Well, then I'm not doing it properly.
there you go.
All right, I think yeah, there it is.
Okay, so what we're proposing to do is 22 home sites on this. The detention area is at the north end of the property. We do have like a curved access off of Pinhook to kind of give it a little character upon entry. And then also right off, you can see the small area that is a little gazebo area, a little green space area. Also, our intentions are to go ahead and take a black powder coated fence and it'll return back, 40, 50 feet along each of the property lines on the east and west side. And we'll go along the front also, just to kind of give it a little private community and a little elegance upon the entryway. There won't be any gates on it. So that what we'll do is just to build a pillar on either side of the entry off of Pinhook, and we'll tie the fence into that area. So this is the type of product that we are looking at. It'll be between 16 to 1,700 square feet. We are looking at a full two-car garage. It will, 4 parking spaces will be available, obviously, with the 2 in the driveway and uncovered, of course, and then 2 in the garage. Primarily, it'll be a 3-bedroom product, and we're looking at using several mixed-use materials between brick at the minimum case. We'll have some brick at the bottom of the home, and you can see how the siding, the different elevations. I have 2 elevations to show you at this point in time as a preliminary. However, we'll have multiple elevations created using different materials and both horizontal and vertical. And on this, you can see how the gables are even have a little decoration at the top there. We're going to have the different siding materials in the gables and try to just really give the home some character. You can see a couple little corbels also on the garage, again, just to dress the garages up. And as you see at the garage doors, they all have the windows in there, again, bringing more character into the product itself. Here's another elevation, and you can see we're using stone at the base of the also we have the vertical siding above the garage and horizontal, different mixed use on the materials, creating just a more of a cottage and warm feeling to the home. So again, 22 home sites. We do have the 7.5 feet, no, I think we're running is 10 feet between the homes, excuse me. 10 feet between the homes. And, the turnaround, that's an 80-foot radius and for fire situations, for the fire trucks to turn around at the end of the cul-de-sac there. Again, the detention and, giving everybody a little bit of green space in the front, the back, as well as in their yards itself. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
What does additional parking look like for this particular community? Like, is there any like parking for along the road or outside of the 4 parking spaces per unit? What other parking is available?
I mean, obviously, yes, because the road will be 30, I think we're anticipating about 33, 35 wide. So that will allow on-street parking as well.
Are there any other questions in the group?
Cul-de-sac at the end, what does it, what's behind that?
The green area that is kind of a little bit more rough looking green, that is a detention area, to contain stormwater.
Okay. The land that's affected behind it, what's there, what's behind it, what's behind this development?
Oh, behind this development is actually another development that's existing already. Directly behind it, it's a single family home touching the northeast corner, which is where you see concrete monument found. Touching that, there's a development to the north west there, excuse me. And same thing when you look over here where it says Iron Pin found, about 30, 50 feet to the east, and that north is 100% built up existing community already.
Do you know the names of those communities?
Not offhand, I do not.
Are these homes going to be leased or are they going to be for sale?
This is for sale product. And we anticipate being in the 425 to 450 range.
I have a question regarding the product itself. So you said that there's a brick table around. So I'm going to be very open. I don't really care for this layout right here that we're looking at. We see a lot of this in our community where that second design that you have, it's it's a unique look and it looks like it adds more quality to the community. This look here, if we could add, an option for masonry above the garage or that centerpiece,
Certainly.
I think this will look really amazing within our area.
Yeah.
I don't really care for the first layout. We see a lot of that already in the community.
Yeah. So what we will do is we will have, again, so that we don't have any, try to minimize the monotony in the neighborhood. So we will have multiple elevations that the clients can choose from. And we can always, brick the fronts of them, fully brick the front. The portion of the garage, we couldn't because of the weight loads and everything and the steel required. It would be very, very expensive to do, even as an option. But at least around the front door and going up that, the side, we would have brick options available.
Can you define multiple options for me, please?
Multiple, what that would be is, so the different elevations on the homes, they'll probably be thinking about 5 various elevations, 5 different looks on the front. And then if a client would choose to want to brick the full, and some of those elevations would have full brick, like around the garage. And in this particular picture, would be running up the side of the home and then or, by the front door in that alcove area. That could be full brick as well.
When do you expect this to start and when to completion?
Anticipated start or we'd like to be in the ground sometime in late spring of 26. And we're anticipating about anywhere from 14 to 18 months after that for completion. So it would complete in 27, late fall of 27.
Just with one way in or out, Pinhook is pretty busy with the high school, maybe 100 yards to the south of this. And you have a light at the other side. Won't traffic be an issue?
With 22 homes, we're not anticipating it. It shouldn't be much of an impact on Pinhook. It's not like the community to the south, right across the street and south, which has several hundred units in there. With only 22 homes, again, we just don't anticipate really any type of impact on Pinhook as far as traffic.
From the light to the school, it backs up almost every day, morning and evening.
Yes, we were there the other morning a couple weeks ago, and we did notice that in the morning, it was probably about 7:15 or so. We did notice the traffic on there.
Again, afternoon school letting out would be an obvious another backup on that. From all the way from the light past your development down to the beginning of the parking lot of the school.
The only way to accomplish a double exit on this is, and I don't know if that would even be allowed by Metro in regards to the curb cut along Pinhook, if they would, but I mean, you could come down and make this a Y at the very bottom.
Metro would not sign off on that. I think that those curb cuts would be too close together.
Yeah, that's what it would be. So
Okay,
that's why
what about the road that they're gonna put in, the connector road next to us?
the connector road is on the books. And that would run along. You can kind of see where this red roof is. And the connector road actually runs where you kind of see the existing residence and 116 feet, that line there. The connector road runs through there and up to tie into the community that's on this corner over here.
You know the name of that road?
No, they haven't named it. It's been on the easement is there, and it's been on the books for quite some years, and it has not been, as far as I know.
That road would likely be an extension of Pine Lake Drive. And it would run down and intersect with Post Oak Drive, across Pinhook. But like he said, I think that would be dependent on those two properties redeveloping into a new, because Metro doesn't really go out and build new roads like that. They usually rely on the development of the property to generate the need and the ability to go in and build those roads.
Thank you for that, Matt. Thank you.
Matt, where is Springstead Trail in relation to this development?
Is that the name of a street or is that the name of a
Yes,
community?
that's the name of a street that's been, it's at the end of it, it says the Metro is,
I found it. That one arcs over to the west of this site it dead ends into the property at 3742 Pinhook Road. So that would be farther, that basically almost to the new subdivision that's going in even a little bit farther west towards Hobson Pike.
okay, thank you.
So this property is sort of directly south of Dolly. Like if you're familiar with that subdivision that Springhead Trail is in, this property is sort of directly south of Lake Walk Drive in between Dolly Court and Pine Lake Drive. And then Pine Lake Drive is a stub, whereas Dolly Court is a cul-de-sac. And there's a bit of what looks like common space that immediately abuts the property in question tonight.
Okay, thank you.
For those that are in the group, how do you guys feel about the product itself and also the placement of this particular community, right?
I think the people have the right to develop land as appropriate, as long as it doesn't over congest traffic or harm the school or the surrounding communities.
I think it's gonna be real congested. It's already a million homes over here. It looks nice, but we do need like at least a traffic light on Pinhook at Post Oak or something like that. But it's gonna be very congested.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, Brandon.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Unfortunately, the houses have to come first before you get the traffic lights, making it very frustrating. But I believe it's a necessity for the community to see it growing to make the investment.
Is there any? I don't see anything in the chat. Okay, so um, Joe, Vern, and I apologize. I apologize if I hit a little in the background. Uh, I um I appreciate you guys like what the product that we see, it's a reflection of our initial conversation. So I thank you for that because I did tell you, in regards to what current builders have been proposing, and this for me, especially that the second elevation, I think that has a lot of character, and you know it's a
Yeah, I agree, Deonte, that, and am I right, John, that even all the elevations, that's a masonry product that's on the structure there, right?
That is, we haven't determined the actual product. I mean, obviously it comes in, but that would be what we're anticipating is a LP product.
Oh, I see, like a Hardy or LP.
Yeah, which is
some type
comparable.
of- Yeah,
It's Louisiana Pacific's version of Hardy,
Sure.
basically.
yeah, I've used that, so that's awesome.
guys, I appreciate your time. If there's no more questions, I will give you guys a call tomorrow. I think, we're gonna need another engagement. So I will get with council staff to get that notification sent out and get a date from you all. But so far, man, regarding the product, this is a good start. I do I do hear the constituents' concerns regarding traffic because we do have a lot of development happening in this area. You know, one of the things I did share with you all being that the number of homes that this particular development is 22 homes is not as concerning. However, when you have 100+ homes being up the road, 50, next door, it adds up. So I appreciate you all. You're thus far. I, I appreciate everything that you guys have done so far, and I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay. And then
Um,
Deonte, would that be rescheduled for within weeks, or what is your timeline on that anticipated?
so we can come up with a date tomorrow. We can come up with a date tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
great.
Can
Well,
I
thank
ask a
you for
quick
your
question?
time.
Thank you for hosting.
Can I
Roy,
ask a
did you have?
question?
Absolutely. Matt, thank you.
Yeah,
Matt,
I
thank you for
think
your
Roy
help.
had a question.
Yeah, I do. So y'all talked about these other two developments. So those are already approved, or are they going through the zoning process, or what is the actual status of those projects?
Can, excuse me, Roy, what project are we talking about?
Well, you're talking about some new subdivisions coming online. Are those already
No.
approved?
So one has already been, it's being built right across the street from the high school. It's almost a couple hundred homes. That alone is going to cause an influx in traffic to the area. But for this area, I have gotten a lot of requests for rezones and potential developments. So even though, to my point, this is just 22 homes, I have to think of the larger number.
That was the point of my question. So do we know what improvements they were required to make on the larger subdivision?
Uh, I would have to look at the plans. I have to look
I
at the
can
plans
check into
for
that too. I think that would be a good
absolutely.
thing. Yeah, I think it'd be good for us to know exactly what's being done cumulatively to make sure that everybody's working in concert together to make sure that,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was my point of the question. Thank you, Councilman.
Can we find out if these are for sale products or for lease? I thought those were for lease products.
Yeah, the product down the street to the west, closer to, I don't know the street name, but the west end there is, and that's where stoplight is as well. That is a for lease product, as I understand.
Yeah, because I think if we're for sale, everything I've seen in that area is for lease. And that's just, from us driving around, not saying that's 100% correct, but I think if we are closer to that higher number of everything being leased and having a for sale project, I think it'd be a good mix.
Well, I'm gonna always be a supporter of for sale versus for lease. I do believe that we should have a mixed variety of housing, but um and depending on what area you are in, to your point, there is a nice amount of for lease.
Okay, well, really appreciate your time tonight. And I think Paul, if he's still there, he's asked some great questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I will regroup with you all tomorrow, and when we get off here, I'll shoot an email with a couple times. And I thank you guys again for your time.
All right, very good.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Deonte, thank you
Okay,
so
thanks.
much.
Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
See you guys.
This concludes the meeting.